Let's now see a bunch of examples that I've borrowed from section 4.3 of the SQLite documentation. We have a table T1 with 4 columns, A, B, C, and D with their respective type affinities, text, numeric, blob, and this one, though it says no affinity, it's going to respect that of a blob. And here is a first insert. This should be pretty easy for you to decode by now. We'll have 4 values inserted in the order of the columns, all of values 500. The first one is going to be stored as a text because it's also a text. The next one is numeric. Since 500 can be losslessly represented as an integer, it's stored as an integer. If it had been 500.1, then the underlying storage would have been of real. The next one is blob, so it's going to respect the underlying storage of the parameter type, so we'll just store it as text. And in the last case, 500, it's also going to represent the underlying storage mechanism, underlying storage of the parameter, so it's an integer. Let's now dive into the first select statement. A has a value of 500 in text. So now we're going to check if A less than 40 or A less than, no, it's not an OR operation, comma A less than 60, comma A less than 600 from table T1. A has text affinity, so the numeric values on the right side are converted into a text before comparison. So how is this comparison going to take place? The text value 500 is going to be compared with the text value of 40. Since 5 is greater than 4, the result is false. The next case, 5 is actually less than 6. So that's why this comparison will succeed in a truthy value and you'll see 1. The same holds true for even 600. 500 in text is less than 600 in text, so that's why you'll see the 1 down here. The second select statement shows that there is no type conversion that takes place since both of them are of type text, which is why you'll see the same results as above. Let's move on to the next select query. So here B has a value of 500 stored using the integer storage class. And now let's see how this select statement plays out. We have 3 items inside of it. Is B less than 40, B less than 60, and B less than 600. Since B has an underlying numeric affinity of type integer, the operand on the right hand side is first treated as an integer. So since no conversion has to take place here, we can go ahead and compare the results as is using numeric conversion. 500 is greater than 40, so it's a 0 down here. 500 is greater than 60, so there we go with another 0. And 500 is less than 600, so we see a 1 here. Whereas in the next select statement, conversion has to take place because B is of type, or rather has a numeric affinity, and the operand on the right hand side has a text affinity. So this one is actually converted into a numeric data type before comparison. So let's see what the results are. It's going to be identical to what it was above because the conversion has to first take place to convert 40 down to a numeric affinity class, that is an integer, and then comparison will take place. C is of blob data type and the value stored is 500 within quotes, that is the underlying storage mechanism is a text. Whenever a blob appears in a comparison operator, no conversions will occur. So let's understand the statement. Is C less than 40, 60 and 600. The operators on the right side are all integers and integers are lesser than text and blob. So that's the reason why you'll see zeros all through because C has a value of 500 in text. Let's see the next one. No type conversions are going to occur, but these two are of the same data type. So C less than 40, 60 and 600 will obey text comparison rules. So it's going to result in an output of 0, 1, 1. And finally, as far as D is concerned, no conversions are going to take place. Just the way no conversion took place with respect to C. And here we are going to compare it against 40, 60 and 600. The value stored in D is 500 with integer as the underlying type. So when we convert this, when we evaluate this statement, it's going to obey integer comparison. So that's the reason why you see 0, 0 and 1, because when D is 500, this is false, this is false and this alone is true. And as far as the last bit is concerned, we have text on the right side and integer on the left side. We know that integer is always less than text, so that's why all these comparisons are going to yield a Boolean value of true or 1 in integer representation.